Mars, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Lord Mars, the sign of your chart, is doing some amazing stuff for you in the month of January, giving you some ample opportunity to succeed in online endeavors, things to do with amazing opportunities for travel, opening up a corridor of success in entrepreneurial and creative projects, and possibly a real significant expansion in your outreach to your audience marketplace or ways in which your primary love relationship and significant love can thrive. I know that's a lot because there's a lot going on, formed by two really cool trines in the sky, not to mention how Lord Mars is going to rise in your third house. We're getting into all of the details of that. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, like and subscribe. But my name is Lori Lothian. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. I love to teach you guys how to use the astrology to time your best life. It is a navigational tool. Today, I want to give you my one promotion before we talk about all the good stuff that's going on in January, and I promise you it is very good. This is one of the better months that you're going to have in 2024. I want to say that I'm having my 2024 All Signs videos are literally 90 minutes long, most of them, 12 videos, one for each sign. You can listen for sun, moon, and rising. That bundle of all 12 videos and links and access to them, private links, is now for sale for $59 to the end of January. And if you grab that, and will never be that price again, it'll be $77 next. That is helping me grow for my Yeti mic, hire my staff, and it's my fundraiser every single winter for my business expenses to help my channel grow and help my business grow. So if you want to give me a hand, that content never goes public, and you can give it away as stocking stuff or share with friends and family. It's fine with me. You're just buying the product to use as how you would like. If you just want to get your Scorpio rising sun or moon video below, go ahead. You can get the a la carte videos as well, but they are not for sale. All right, so moving into the story of you. This is a time in which Mars is doing some extraordinary things for you. And I almost just want to jump there, but just remind me, I'm going to tell you about that in a very short minute. Number one, what happens is Jupiter goes direct after being retrograde since September. Now, he has been in the Taurus part of your sky ever since last May and will leave at the end of this coming 2024 May. And that's your marriage house. And a lot of you may have met a new person that you're really down with, moved in, committed to a higher level, decided to be a monogamous couple, got engaged, whatever. So it is a very beautiful transit that really uplevels long-term existing love. But it brings you greater success in business partnerships with clients, audience, marketplace, and the public. And so all of those things have been widening for you ever since last May. Now that, Jupiter's going direct on December 30th, and then, starting in January, things are going forward. Anything that felt kind of on hold, a bit stalled out, or needed to deepen, like the bowstring being drawn back by Jupiter to exceed your own goals and expectations in your marriage house or in your client's audience house, wonderful. I will say one thing. Jupiter can bring blessed endings in relationships that are not meant to be. And when he's going direct, he's more likely to do that. And so he'll be going direct now, January, basically 1st, December 30th, all the way through until the 26th of May. So just keep that in mind. But it's good for reaching out to an audience, a client marketplace, or bringing very powerful, maybe successful, leaderful, maybe even wealthy, prosperous people into your orb of influence to support you in whatever you're doing. Also good for legal contracts and negotiations of any kind, including wedding vows. Now, as a Scorpio also have a bit of, we all do, a tense New Year's Eve. I'm going to give you a heads up. It's kind of like the day before New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve, the day, 2 days after into January 2nd, there's this kind of Venus intensity as Venus. Okay. She is going to form a very tense angle to Lord Saturn. And you might find yourself feeling stressed out or discontent or contracted around things to do with money. So it could be you feel like you're spending too much to have fun. You spent too much on an entrepreneurial or creative project. You have had some kind of containment of your expenditures or constriction of your earnings, restriction around that time. So just know that will pass, but it's a bit of a tense window of time. Or you could have a disagreement with a child or a loved one about money and expenditures around New Year's Eve. But then we move out of that terribly short but intense square, and we move into some more positive territory. Number one, we do have a gorgeous mini grand trine opening up in the sky, courtesy of Lord Mars, your guide, the ruler of your Scorpio sign. It's not Pluto, guys. We're using whole sign houses. We're using traditional astrology. And so, yeah, don't listen for your Placidus. Just trust me. If I say your rising sign, pretend you have whole sign houses in front of you. And Mars is sextiling Saturn, trining Jupiter from the 8th to the 15th of January, creating a beautiful flow between your third house, your seventh house, and your fifth house, a mini grand trine. First of all, this can be a really great opportunity for travel with a romantic partner, leisure, fun travel, a getaway of some kind, a romantic getaway. And that may be something you can take or plan between the 8th and the 15th of January. This is also a time in which anything to do with your online world and whatever you're doing there ambitiously will succeed and bring you greater acclaim or renown in your house of audience, marketplace, and clients. Also for creatives, artists, and entrepreneurs, your entrepreneurial creative products reach a larger audience and you get a glow up in the online world. If you are somebody who needs to learn something and take a class, this could open up a doorway to a new class that harnesses a unique gift or talent that you have that you know you can endure and go the distance learning and doing really well with that teacher or teaching. All said and done, though, it is a glow up by Mars, who is also becoming visible in January around the 11th at 5 degrees of Capricorn. And therefore, embedded within this gorgeous mini grand trine is the Lord of your sky, rising from beneath the beams of the sun in your third house. He hasn't done this since 1977, January, add 2 years. Now we can simply say that January of 24, add 2 years, you are rising to great success in third house matters. Now, as a Scorpio, if you are a writer, a songwriter, if you're online, if you're artistic or creative, if you're an artist of any kind, this is going to give you a couple of years of success. If you were old enough to remember 1977, some of you weren't born, 78, then maybe you could compare notes. This can move you into a time over the next 2 years, January plus, where travel is happening. You're doing a lot of travel, or you're doing a lot of passionate learning as well. But Mars is also baking in that trine to Jupiter, suggesting that this is going to open up a great deal of success with the idea of an audience, a public, a marketplace, or if you are looking for a long-term love relationship, there's a possibility of bringing in a committed love over the next 2 years that leads to marriage and an enduring romance, even one that could beget children, depending on your age. Now, moving forward to Pluto and the Sun. Wow, they come together at the last degree of Capricorn, where all this Mars action is happening, your third house, on the 20th, 21st, depending where you live in the world. And that's going to complete a story that began in 2008, where the Sun and Pluto kept joining here every year. And this is the grand finale. What are you completing that began in 2008 that's kind of a last hurrah? And it has to do with those third house matters that I've already delineated for you. Third house is elder sibling as well. By the way, that means over the next younger sibling, over the next 2 years, your relationship with your younger sibling can improve. We'll go into more in the All Signs video early January about this rise of Mars from beneath the beams of the sun. So definitely subscribe if you want to get a deep dive into this rare synodic cycle. Moving into the energy of that Pluto again, meeting with the sun. Sun can be about career and Pluto can be power and wealth. And you may be a powerful, wealthy culmination, height of great success in some kind of career that involves the online world, trips and travel, creative and artistic endeavors, and reaching an audience and a public. That culminating energy can be very positive for you around the 20th and 21st, but it can also be turbulent. And then we have between the 25th and the 28th, a Mercury conjunction. Oh, let me go back. I want to mention there's a kind of trying to get something to happen, but it doesn't happen energy here. When Jupiter is sextiling the planet Uranus, the 24th of the month to the end of the month, all the way through even until mid-February. And literally, it's like a refrainment here. The two can't catch each other and make an exact sextile. So if something wants to happen in the house of legal contracts and agreements, marriage, partnerships, clients, audience, and other, where Jupiter and Taurus is sitting, sextiling the house of the creative arts, entrepreneurship, love and romance, and children. Now, honestly, it could be trying to get pregnant or your partner, and it's close but not quite. It could be trying to get a contract for a entrepreneurial or creative project formed and agreed upon, like, like someone wants to publish your book, someone wants to promote your song, but nothing quite fully happens. Almost but not quite, or good but not great. Now, later on, the 25th to the 28th, we have a very difficult chunk of sky, or challenging, not very difficult, might be an overextension of that, but Mars is your guy. He's rising and he's visible in the third house, and Mercury catches up with him between the 25th and 28th, creating a conjunction. And as that conjunction of the two planets happen, it's like bold decisions, powerful ideas, a passionate action around contracts, agreements, deals, and negotiations. Travel, a trip somewhere. Both planets can bring travel, shorter distance travel here, the 25th to the 28th of January. At the same time, that whole conjunction is squaring the nodes of fate in Libra and Aries in your 6th and 12th house. You may want to take a foreign travel trip, for example, to a place you've been before, but you can't quite pull it off. You might want to go into some kind of expansion in your career and workspace, and you can't quite get it to work because travel's in the way, or your online world is in the way, or a younger sibling's in the way. Who knows? There's tension there. I mean, the North Node is expanding your success in work and livelihood over the next, till 2025. But all of a sudden, Mars, Mercury are like having a discussion that's disagreeable with the North Node of fate and Chiron. Where have you felt wounded, Scorpio, in your livelihood, in your sense of where you're here to find the job for you? Honestly, some of you could quit a job under this. You could like up and quit or get quit. You know what I mean? Someone fires you. It might be a leave taking of some employment structure going on here as you feel that pressure of a North Node squaring Mars, Mercury in the third house. Time to move on, maybe. Could be some difficult situations as well with neighbors, the neighborhood, the local environment. Maybe also with the South Node in the 12th house, you're trying to find some connection to a foreign entity, foreign international shores, a company, do with work and travel. And it's just like something's not working quite well here on the 25th to the 28th. Yet Mercury will move on, and by the 27th and 28th and 29th into the 30th, he begins to love up Uranus. And this can be an unexpected surprise. Let's nail it to around the 28th, right? 28th, 29th, and all of a sudden, boom, Mercury says a phone call, an email, a text message, some news, some information that's going to connect you to an exciting and sudden and unexpected opportunity for a legal arrangement, a public, an outreach, something to do with your marketplace, something to do with your clients. But it can also be something good going on in the life of your significant long-term partner in business or love. And it's going to be good news pummeling through the sky, coming through your third house. Now, the 28th, 29th can involve some good news from a younger sibling that connects you to something positive in your marriage and outreach and clients and legal matters house. I'm just sitting with that for a minute. And possibly something positive and exciting and exhilarating coming through the sky from a mother figure can also be in the storyline. Now, when we move into the next piece of real estate we're going to talk about, it is going to be a second mini grand trine. The one that we had happen earlier with Mars sextile Saturn trine Jupiter from the 8th to the 15th as Mars became visible. And I delineated that. I said that affected your third house, fifth house, and seventh house. Well, we're back again. We're back again with Venus doing the same thing, taking Mars's place. Venus sextiling Saturn in their fifth house can look like romantic trip, romantic travel, pleasure and enjoyment in the local neighborhood in a romantic way. Good time to take a date for the first time. Good time to set up something in the online dating sphere. If you're single, if you're with somebody, it's just good romance through the local neighborhood or short distance travel. And again, the 27th to the 29th even of January. At the same time, Venus will flow to Jupiter in the 7th house. Again, lots of love between you and your audience, your marketplace, and success in the online world as something you're doing creatively. 5th house takes off and becomes quite viral, popular. Venus here can do that for you. This is going to also maybe give you an opportunity to learn something. Jupiter, the god of learning and wisdom and knowledge, flows to the 3rd house of skills-based learning. You may take up a class to enhance a talent or a hobby or skill you have and see yourself excited and delighted and enjoying this process of learning and simply enjoying your local neighborhood and having fun with someone you love and having more of a committed relationship energy stabilize into a form for maybe what was a dating story can happen from some of you from the 27th to the 29th. Now, if you see Venus and Mercury are doing some stuff, let's talk about it. This is like Mercury, January 2nd, going direct in Sagittarius, which is your money and earnings house. And therefore, any stalled out regresses to the mean where his 3-week retrograde before January 2nd meant some kind of hold back or having to go back and get the boss to approve something or having to go back and look at your finances and check your savings and stuff or whatever. That was happening. But now we have a direct motion. And January 2nd, Mercury, and things are moving forward financially. And the good news about that is you also have support from Venus. So Venus is there as of December 29th to January 23rd. This kind of means between January 2nd and January 13th, when both Venus and Mercury are in your 2nd house, raise, promotion, buying something beautiful, selling something that you want to sell to increase your cash flow. So increases in your earnings, cash flow, and possessions, but also a good time to ask for a raise or promotion, or just find you're getting one or getting a new job if you're looking for one. Very auspicious time to apply for new jobs as well. And then again, the dates for that yay you moment, the most auspicious are January 2nd to January 13th, direct motion Mercury, Venus co-present with them in your 2nd house of earnings. Also, you might find you could beautify your face at this time. Get, your teeth cleaned, veneered, get a dermabrasion on your face. Well, not in some kind of beautifying of your face is possible at that time as well. Successful dentistry can happen in that January 2nd to January 13th window. Then also, we see that Mercury moves on January 13th to February 4th into your Capricorn 3rd house. That's often a travel time, but it's also great for putting out content, writing, putting out content into the online world, publishing things in the online world. It's more like the social media land where your Mercury gets very busy here. He can also have a lot of news, phone calls, and information going back and forth between you and siblings or you and cousins, or just a lot of social life in the local town, city, neighborhood, and all the places and venues you can go to January 13th to February 4th, or some shorter distance travel. And then Venus on January 31st joins him, January 23rd joins him in Capricorn. Therefore, you have a January 23rd to February 4th time in which both Venus and Mercury are in your 3rd house, which I've mentioned already as a lush up for that online social media promotional time, launching a new course, publishing a new website, taking that romantic loving trip with someone you care about. Really powerful yes you energies. Again, January 23rd through to February the 4th. Thanks for listening, guys. You are my last video today. I've made it all the way to Scorpio, back to back, recording for Patreon community December 19th. You guys get this later, which brings me to Patreon. Join my Patreon community in January through to January. End of January, I have a promotion, 3 free videos. Chiron, the key to purpose. Synastry, are you my person? And then I'm teaching Chiron life cycles in January, and you get to take that course for free. Plus, if you miss it, take the replay. So you're going to get 3 classes worth $99 if you want to come study with me. But it's more important to understand that it's an ethical bribe. For $5 to join my Patreon community for 1 month or whatever tier you want to try, experience what it's like when you get to know me a bit better on the back end with classes and Zoom calls and horary groups and stuff like that. And if you like that stuff, stick around. But if you don't, you can leave and keep the gifts. And I don't really care. Okay. I'm just trying to get you to try me out. So we call it like a lost leader or an ethical bribe. All right. Thanks for listening, Scorpio. I'm wishing you the very best in 2024, the month of January.